What up, what up? Today is a special day, you know what I'm saying? It's the God, the GOAT of hip hop, Jay-Z's birthday today, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I came up with a top 10 Jay-Z album songs, you know what I'm saying? Happy birthday to the boy. Yeah, you hear J. Cole in the background, gives a fuck. His album 2014 Forest Hill Drive, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. That's just me. But that album review will be coming the day I go pick the album up next Tuesday. So you don't gotta ask when I'm gonna do it. All right, on to the top 10 songs. Number 10 started off I Know featuring Pharrell off the American Gangster album. I just love that song. It's one of them songs to where it can have a double meaning, to where he could be talking about a girl, which was Beyonce, or he could be talking about like how he said a chick addicted to heroin. If you watch the video, I think Lenny Kravitz's daughter played in the video. So I thought that was pretty dope the way he worded it and flipped it. But if you really listen to the song, yeah, I'm gonna say that's dedicated to Beyonce. Even though the American Gangster album was, his album back to having a concept, but I just thought that was dope. You know what I mean? Moving on to number 9, "Song Cry" off the Blueprint album. We all know this is a classic song. This was really the first time where I actually heard Jay be more, I guess, open. That was different for me to hear, and it was a dope song. It took me a while to I guess, relate to it because I wasn't in a relationship. But when you really get in one and you listen to the lyrics, it was actually a dope record. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, for him to be that open about a situation. I mean, what can you say? It was a dope record. Moving on, number 8, the intro on the Dynasty Rock La Familia album. I don't care what nobody say. That's one of the hardest intros Jay-Z ever produced, put out. You know, and when I first heard the album, shit, I didn't want to hear nothing else. I ran that motherfucker back like goddamn 5 times, and that dropped in 2000. So that's just an incredible intro. I will say the intro on Kingdom Come is pretty sick though. You know what I'm saying? I will give him that. You dig? We're moving on to number 6. Uh, my bad. Number 7, Hard Knock Life off Hard Knock Life Volume 2. A lot of people say that they didn't like it because it flipped the ante. It's a hard knock life. You know what I'm saying? But if you listen to the storytelling in that song, it's just fucking incredible. Like, damn, I remember the video where you can look at the video back then and then look at the video now. Hove still, had money back then. You gotta remember that album. I think that album with Diamond, if I'm correct. And look how he was dressing, still in the hood, doing everything like that. You know what I mean? But then still had the Bentley out there. And my favorite part of that movie, that video is where you see how the little girl pushes him, and he like, that shit was just crazy. That's one of my favorite records. Number 6 is Blueprint 2 off the Blueprint 2 album. Now that song was crazy because it was basically when Nas and him were still going at each other, and he came up with the line, "Just because you don't understand him, that don't mean that he nice." You know what I'm saying? That shit was just crazy. That's still one of my favorite records, from the Blueprint 2. And that was just dope because him and Nas were still going at it. The Blueprint, Stillmatic, and then when Nas dropped Godson, he was still going, at Jay, and when Jay dropped the Blueprint. So that was just dope, you know what I mean? And I was like, wow, like, because a lot of people will say, damn, that's nice, but you don't really understand them. So that made sense. Number 5 is Can't Knock the Hustle featuring Mary J. Blige off his debut album. Now, a lot of people said that when this album dropped, like, it really wasn't a big deal because you had Tupac out, you had Nas out, you had a lot of other people out. But I still remember this video because I thought it was crazy on the detail in the video to where the chick was just mad at him that, and this is what happens in the real world this day and age. A female let her friends gas her up to do some stupid shit, and when a nigga finally pop off and cut your ass loose, you looking stupid, and then you always got them bitches saying, well, girl, I didn't tell you to do that, you know what I'm saying? That's your man. You should know him better than we do. Shit like that. But the video was crazy. They got him, ducking bullets and bitches getting at him, but then you see at the end how he gave her the kiss of death and sent her on her way. But that still was a dope song. A lot of people said that they didn't like Mary J. Blige on it. Go figure. Number 4 is Lost One featuring Chrisette Michele off Kingdom Come. This is an album where a lot of people didn't like this album. This is the point where I knew that Jay had grown and matured as far as an artist, and I knew at that point we would never get the Jay-Z that we got, American Gangster, of course, but far as that Jay that we all love, we was never getting that again. And this song sparked controversy with his, girl Beyonce, because he actually was open about the situation. And if you remember that verse, he talked about Dame, he talked about Beyonce, just talked about, his nephew that died, a lot of things like that. But that was just a record where Jay never really been that open. You know how he is, where he reveals a little bit of things, but then he don't really be that revealing. And that was a song to where, goddamn, he was revealing. And at the end of the day, it was a dope record. Don't sleep on that album too. Number 3, What We Talking About, featuring Luke Steele off the Blueprint 3. Now we all know the famous line, what we talking about. I ain't talking about Game, I ain't talking about Dame, I ain't talking about you know what I'm saying? To where in an interview he say, no, I'm not dissing them, I'm saying what are we talking about? Why they telling me that I need to get at Game, I need to get at Jimmy, I need to get at them? And I'm like, what are we talking about? So I thought that was a good, play off that. But we all know he was sneak dissing. Like, let's be real. Well, it's not sneak dissing if he says name, so he dissed him. But then, you know how Hove do. But I still thought that was a dope-ass song, a dope record. And I fuck with it. Say Hello off the American Gangster album is my number 2 song. I remember this was back when it was my grandma's funeral or whatever. And I was just hanging out, in the city, San Francisco, with my cousins, them in the hood and shit. And my cousin partner was smoking. I'm like, little bro, you smoking? I'm like, yeah. And he had this fucking album playing. Like, I've had the album and heard it, but when you hear this song with a system that's thumping, I was high as shit. I think we smelled like 3 blunts riding around. And it just, the beat with the words, and it just went through me, and I'm like, this song is fucking doper than what I thought it was. I just thought it was dope for, the beat and what he was saying, but when you actually can be with a sound system and hear it, you hear the pain, you hear the disparity in the record, and I was like, this fucking song is just dope. You know what I'm saying? So that's my number 2 record. And of course, y'all should know what number 1 is if today is his birthday, with December 4th off the Black Album. I just thought that was a phenomenal record. It opened up the album, and I still feel to this day that should have been the last track on the Black Album. For some reason, I just feel like that. You know what I mean? It should have been the last. But other than that, it was a good record. I definitely appreciate that production. That production was so on point, and it just has that thing to where he's talking about his life, his family, his mom, them, and it's just a dope record overall. And Hove just opened up the Black Album to fans that didn't know what to expect, and people still say that they don't like the album or it was dope, but I still say that album, was dope as fuck, because we haven't heard him spit nothing other than what was his last album for the Black Album, Blueprint 2, I think. You know what I'm saying? So even my boy, well, a nigga I used to know back in the town, he had hit me on the phone, and I had this playing in the background. He was like, that Black Album go hard. I'm like, yeah, bro, this shit dope as fuck. I remember going to pick it up and everything, going to buy it. It was dope. I even bought the acapella version, you dig? But other than that, it's my top 10 Jay-Z album songs. Seeing his birthday, I want to do something a little different. So let me know what your top 10 Jay-Z songs is. What albums you deem as top 5 or top 3. And yeah, man, happy birthday to Hov, man. Nigga to go to rap, been around for a minute. Still hoping that he drop one more album. I still want Watch the Throne 2 to drop. And I don't know, I still think even though he did Blueprint 3, it would be dope to do Blueprint 4. That's just what I want. I'm a fan, what can I say? And I still think him and Nas should do the Kings of New York album. Call me a fan of hip-hop. Call me whatever you want. But yeah, that's just my top 10. J. Cole album coming Tuesday. Stay tuned for that. 1.